Hey everybody, this is Tim Ford with the Spot Safety Division. I am the safety manager for the Midwest region. Today we're going to talk about some summer safety issues. It's been a long cold winter for most of our sites. We are finally breaking out of that cycle of a wet spring, and lo and behold, we're right in the middle of summer. We're going into some hot temperatures and a lot of high humidity. A lot of that stuff will bring on some dangers because of the heat and because of the humidity. Today, I wanted to talk about two different things that are affected by the heat. First thing we're going to talk about is heat exhaustion. The second thing we're going to talk about is heat stroke. So let's get started and talk about heat exhaustion. Some of the signs and symptoms that you will see with heat exhaustion. We're going to have a driver or a person that is faint or dizzy. And the big thing to check for is excessive sweating. The body uses water to lubricate muscles and to make your organs and your brain work. And when it is trying to cool itself off, it creates a lot of sweat. I like to think of it as a radiator in a car trying to cool off an engine. The skin of your person will present as cool, pale, and sometimes clammy. They also could have a rapid, weak pulse. Another big thing that is an indication of heat exhaustion is muscle cramps. You get the muscle cramps because the muscles are trying to wring out every ounce of fluid or water that are lubricating them to help cool your system off. Some of the things that we can do for heat exhaustion is get to a cool, air-conditioned place. Drink plenty of water. And if you're at the end of your workday and you're heading home and the heat has basically zapped you of all energy, a lot of times a cool shower or a cold compress will work to help get you cooled down. As far as cold compresses go, a lot of times I used what they call a cooling towel. I used to carry these with me in my cooler all the time, get them wet. A lot of times you can snap them and they will create a cool to the touch on the compress itself. I used to wear them as a do-rag on my head, and I used to wear them also around my neck. I would wrap it up like a bandana. Biggest thing is, if you use it around your neck, you need to make sure that some of it is touching the carotid arteries that are on either side of your windpipe. As you cool that blood through your skin, that blood returns to your brain and sends signals to start cooling it down, which helps immensely as far as recovering from heat exhaustion. Let's talk about the next one. This one is vitally important. This one is heat stroke. Heat stroke in itself is something that 911 would need to be called for. Okay, this is something you do not mess around with. This is somebody that is in dire need of a hospital and cooling down. One of the first signs you're going to see is a throbbing headache. The big giveaway is going to be no sweating. At this point, your body has wrung out every ounce of water that it can to try and cool you down, and it is past the point of no return. It's not going to cool itself down. Red, hot, and dry skin. You are basically baking from the inside out, hence the reason for the dry skin. There's no more sweat left in your body, and the red is just the heat trying to escape. You have a rapid and strong pulse, and you may even lose consciousness. If you should come across one of your fellow co-drivers or a driver in the yard that looks like they're in distress from heat stroke, err on the side of caution and call 911. If you call 911, you also need to let your site manager or your lead driver know. And it is also a good idea to let the customer know that there'll be emergency vehicles coming onto their property so they can get directed to the correct place. Let's talk about hydration. First thing, and I'm kind of a hypocrite when it comes to this, I do like my caffeinated beverages. I like my coffee in the morning, and I like a good Diet Coke in the afternoon. Caffeine has been noted to dehydrate a body a lot faster than most normal beverages. The best drink you can drink for yourself is water, water, and more water. Now I know there's people out there that do not like the taste of plain old tap water or bottled water. If that's the case, get yourself a small little bottle of Mio, which is a flavored, concentrated Kool-Aid, so to speak, that you can squirt into your water bottle, or you can squirt into a thermos that you carry around with you. Some other good things to drink would be Gatorade, Powerade. You can even get some fruit juices in you too, such as apple juice or orange juice. All these contain sugars and electrolytes and some sodium that'll help keep you hydrated. Another point to think about is if you are coming to work and you're already thirsty, you're already dehydrated and you're behind the 8 ball. You need to make sure you're drinking water on a continual basis. You need to replace what you put out in sweat. Another good indicator if you're dehydrated, and this has happened to me twice in my lifetime, being dehydrated is miserable. It will wear you out. It'll leave you down and out for a day or two. One of the things that a doctor taught me when I was in the hospital for dehydration was to check on the color of my urine output. If the urine output is clear with a little bit of yellow to it, you're fairly hydrated. But if it starts getting darker in color, orange to a yellow, that would be considered seriously dehydrated and you need to seek medical attention. So don't let the heat melt you. First things we can do, stay hydrated. Always carry something with you that you can drink or something that you can fill a water bottle from. Wear light, loose-fitting clothing. When I shagged trailers, I used to wear a long-sleeve, dry-fit shirt. That would create just enough of a sweat, and if there was a breeze outside, that breeze would help cool me down a lot quicker. It also protected me from being sunburned. It's miserable enough to work in the heat, but to be sunburned and working in the heat, that's a whole nother thing. Eat light, frequent meals. One of my favorite things during the summer is the availability of fresh fruits. I used to like to carry watermelon with me, or cantaloupe, or muskmelon. The watermelon itself is made up of 70% water. That'll help you keep you hydrated. Keep it in your cooler, keep it on ice, makes a nice refreshing treat. Cover exposed skin. We had to explain that earlier with long sleeve shirts. I also carried with me suntan lotion. Don't like to be sunburned, plain and simple. Take frequent breaks in a cool, shaded area. If you come into work and they already have heat advisories out through the weather station or your local news, you need to be prepared for that heat. Coincide and get with your coworkers and work out 15 or 10-minute breaks on a regular basis. Get someplace cool, get something to drink, get back out there and get back to work. Okay, to wrap things up, make sure you take care of yourself this summer. Stay cool, stay hydrated. Thank you for your time.